Okay, I'm here to tell you about the future of the internet. You watched the video just now about ICANN, which really stands for Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. What ICANN does really is, you have the internet that everyone's using today, right? You wake up in the morning, that's what I do. I wake up in the morning, first thing I do, check my email. After that, I check my Facebook. Only after checking these two things, then I go to the toilet and brush my teeth and everything. I'm not sure everyone whether you do the same thing, but we take for granted that the internet works. And why does it work? Because ICANN is the organization that actually works to maintain this system of the internet. What we do is we manage the names .com, .net, .org, .ph, .sg, all these top-level domain names. We manage them in the root server so that when you type www.facebook.com, this goes to Facebook and you don't get onto any other site. And how does the name correspond to finding Facebook? On the computers, we have this postal code, which is the IP address. So 111.120.360.460. So these postal codes are the ones that tell the computer how to find the website of your choice. So what ICANN does is that we maintain this system such that everyone, you can get to the site that you want. You can do the business that you want. You can go to the Facebook and see the website, the web page of your friends. So this is what we do. The other part of ICANN's job, apart from maintaining the technical aspect of the internet, is in the policy-making process. So we want to involve as many people, government, business, civil society, you and me, normal people, to be part of the whole debate, discussion, policy-making process to talk about how the internet works. And this is an ongoing process. We have 3 meetings every year held in different countries to discuss these. I'm going to come back on these points later, so all you need to take away from the video is about ICANN, what we do, and the second point is that ICANN is a not-for-profit company. We are not maintaining the internet so that we can earn money from you, but we are maintaining the internet so that everyone can use the internet for our purposes every day. So, the internet is yours and it's mine, it's all of ours. And today, I don't think I even need to say why the internet is important. I just mentioned in the morning I wake up, the first thing I do is to check my email. And right now my phone is vibrating still as my emails are coming in. I'm resisting the urge to check my email. And you know today, when we meet our friends for lunch or dinner sometimes, somebody may take a photo of us and you see these 2 people sitting at the table, both using their phones and not really talking to each other. Why is that? Because the internet is such a big part of our lives today. And I don't think I need to even say more about how important it is, because some of you may have your own websites, your own businesses that you do on the internet. And you can, in the past, when I want to sell a product, I must bring it to you. Today, I don't have to. I go online, I look for the item that I want, I order it, it gets mailed to me. How does this happen? It's because of the internet. The internet has really shrunk the world from something that's really big to something that I can access all over the world with my laptop, with my iPad, with my iPhone, or my Samsung S4. So this is a great thing, right? But some people also say, oh, I have a problem with the internet because I am getting bad information, corrupted information about very extreme ideas that will affect how my children think. I'm getting cybercrime. Some people are selling illegal products on the internet. And these are also bad things. So the internet is a very strong force that can join all of us together, but it is a strong force that can divide us as well. And what we do not want is to be divided by the internet. So how do we go about managing this? Some people say, oh yeah, let's just leave it to the governments. You know, governments, they handle everything. Especially from where I come from in Singapore. We like to say, yeah, everything leave it to the government. If they do a bad job, it's the government's fault also. But Here's a statistic for you. For the internet, 99% of the whole ICT infrastructure, the information communications technology infrastructure, is owned by the private people. 99%. So when we say, yeah, government should control everything, but really, technology is moving so fast. All of us, you may be some of the latest, really down the road, maybe now you are even developing the latest technology. It's moving so fast. Should the governments be the only people who are managing this, or should everyone be managing this? So let's just leave that question for now. And this is why for ICANN, when we want to talk about managing the internet, ICANN's remit is names and numbers, as I was mentioning just now. That's why we want to involve everyone, governments, business, academia, civil society, you and me, all of us. We should be discussing issues that are important to us, that we have interest in, on the platform of a multi-stakeholder model where every voice is heard and all your inputs go towards the managing of names and numbers on the internet, managing how does .com work, and tomorrow, am I just using .com, or can I have .Jia-Rong as my domain name? This is something which you're all thinking about right now, and it's something we are all talking about right now. So companies are starting to want to buy into these names. So you have like in Singapore, we have big companies that are looking to buy their own domain names like .Temasek, .Starhub, .Singtel. In the Philippines, you may have companies like Jollibee. Maybe they want a .Jollibee in the future. Imagine the potential you can have when you have your name at the very end instead of it being restricted to .com or .ph. So these are debates that's going on right now. And we want the community to be involved, that you can talk about it together. And how do we implement all these things? So these are the topics that we are talking about right now. So imagine if one day everyone comes together and says, oh, yeah, we're not really involved in this whole policy-making process. I'm not interested in having a single internet connected to the whole world. Imagine that. Imagine that suddenly everyone decides my internet belongs to my own country. So you start having very segregated intranets, one in Singapore, one in Philippines, one in the US. So Y4iT's theme for this year is Imagine, Innovate, Inspire. So I'll try. Let's do an Imagine section right now. Imagine an extreme scenario like this. And in the morning I wake up, so I check my Facebook. Now I'm in Manila, I wake up, I check my Facebook, and I want to see what my fiancé is doing in Singapore. Imagine when we no longer have one internet, and I want to check Facebook in Singapore. Then I have to cross the customs. So when you go through a customs, you go through a security check, maybe you have to apply for a visa, sometimes you have to pay a certain kind of tax. Imagine you have to do that every time I connect to somebody in another country. Imagine if I have a friend in the United States. I keep close in touch with him all the time. And I want to check what he's doing in the United States. And I go online again, I key in Facebook, I want to see his account, and I get this pop-up and says, please go through the customs for the US. That totally defeats the purpose of the internet, right? Then why should we have an internet in the first place? Suddenly, your very globalized world becomes a deglobalized world. And that's something that we don't want to happen. So imagine in our generation that happens because all of us are not very involved in, I'm not interested in how the internet works. So maybe one day when we have our own children, we'll tell them, back in my day, we had one internet. It's quite a ridiculous thought that this could happen, but it could potentially happen if we are not involved. So let's talk about this multi-stakeholder model. Well, I'll go into an economics principle, which is the 80-20 rule. Economists will tell you that everything happens 80 by 20. 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. 80% of the wealth of the world is held by 20% of the people. 20% of the criminals in the world actually commit 80% of the crime. And 20% of the motorists driving on the road actually commit 80% of all the accidents that's happening. So this is an economic rule that happens. And in a way, we have to accept that as a way of life. But in a multi-stakeholder model that's going on right now, many people who are currently going through this debate, going through the discussions, they fall into the 20. But what I'm here for, to tell you guys, is really that we want to bring as many people as we can into this group of 20, such that it becomes fair. If all of us are in the 80 and we sit by and watch people discuss about how the internet is run, and things happen to it, it's very unfair to us if we do not belong to the group of 20. So this is exactly why I'm here in front of such a large audience. Many of you will be our leaders, our innovators, our engineers, the people who are driving the IT industry, not only in the Philippines, but I know many Filipino workers overseas. Singapore, we have many skilled technicians, engineers who are from the Philippines. And you guys are the ones who will be leading this wave forward. We want you to be in this group of 20, and that is why we have come to Asia for ICANN. Well, ICANN previously, we have only an office in Los Angeles, but now we have an internationalization movement. So we have created 3 hubs only just this year. 1 hub in Los Angeles that covers the Americas, 1 hub in Istanbul that will cover Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, and another hub in Singapore, which we just opened on 1st August. This will cover Asia Pacific. And this is why I'm here. 50% of the world's 2 billion users are from Asia. Just look at last year's e-commerce spending. $322 billion US. 1/3 of the global market comes from Asia. So we want Asia to be more involved in the whole policy-making process, more involved in how the internet is evolving and how the internet works. So you saw it in the video just now about, so how should I participate? It seems like quite difficult, You have signed up for updates at ICANN.org, so you can do that. Join one of the many public comments forums on ICANN's website. You can attend our ICANN meetings. It's open to the public. You can attend in person, or you can attend online. And you can even join one of our groups. But the truth is, a lot of people told me, after I started this role into talking to people, trying to engage different constituents, come and join us in our ICANN processes. They tell me, this process has been going on for a long time. What about newbies? I don't really understand the system. How do I go into this? And so, this is my next I, innovate. And we also try to innovate as ICANN. We are an internet company. We want to manage the internet. So why don't we use the internet? So right now we are creating this digital engagement platform. And we are calling it ICANN Labs. What's happening is that any one of you, and I encourage you to go to labs.icann.org to go and sign up for this. You can go onto this platform and you can participate in the various discussions that's going on regarding policies related to the internet. And what's going on right now is that we are still in a testing phase because we want to innovate, we want to create a new platform. But what do you need when you are testing something? You need users. And who's the best user for the internet? You guys. So really, I'm here to encourage you. Go on to labs.icann.org and sign up for this. Help us test this digital engagement platform. Help us test it. Help us run it. See how you can be better involved in this. And give us your feedback. One very important thing that I want to talk to you about on ICANN Labs is, I was talking about joining groups, joining the supporting organizations on discussing various issues. If it's something like, you have a table of 10 people sitting and there's an empty chair. You don't know anyone at the table. Would you want to sit at the empty chair? Not many people want to. But today in ICANN, we want to innovate and we want to bring more people on board, fresh blood the bright minds of the future on board. So this is why we have created this. Within ICANN Labs, you can actually sign up and you can find an advisor who has been in the community, and he or she will be very happy to help you, to bring you on board, and to make sure that you learn about the system, how the discussions have been going on, and how you can further contribute to it. And so I really encourage all of you to go on to ICANN Labs. You can do it from home, you can do it from anywhere, you can even do it right now. Go on to ICANN Labs and sign up for it. So the last I for Y4iT is inspire. I think only great men can inspire people to do things, and I'm not one of the greats. So all I can say is I'll change my I to impetus for action. And really I'm asking for your help, because you are the next wave. You are the leaders of the future generation. I was just having lunch just now, and there was this professor who told me the amount of potential in this room is way bigger than you can imagine. And we want every one of you to be involved in how the internet works and how the internet is managed. So we wish for you to be part of this 20 and not the 80 who stands by and you're not really sure, oh, what's going to happen to the internet tomorrow. And we want you to be involved. So sign up for ICANN Labs, find ways. I will come back to the Philippines again to find ways to talk to various stakeholders. Some of you may be in the workforce by the time I'm talking to you already. To find ways on how we can engage, how we can better work with each other, such that your views, your ideas will go into how the internet works. So this is the call for the impetus for action. I wouldn't be able to inspire you any further, but really I'm hoping that you guys can be very well informed and very much involved in the ICANN process. So that's all I have to say. I'm not sure whether you can take any questions from the floor, but if you do have any questions, you can always drop me a line. My email is there. And thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very exciting event. I have not seen an IT event of this scale, especially a scale where there are so many students who are here. I just flew in from India for a meeting. My entire trip was about 10 hours, and I felt, oh, such a long trip, having to fly from India, transit in Singapore, and come to Manila. Then I just heard that students take buses. Some of them, the bus goes on the ferry, and it takes like 15 hours to get there.
Come from all points nationwide.
Yeah, precisely. So the amount of draw that you have is very intense. We are new in Asia for ICANN, but the internet is not only for people in the West. So the internet is for everyone. And that's why I'm in this job, to really come to the region and talk to various stakeholders and to engage them to be part of the process in making sure that the internet works, and not only works for people in the West, but everyone in Africa, in the Middle East, in Asia. And being an Asian, Asia is important for me. So I'm really making sure that we have more Asian stakeholders who are part of the whole process in ensuring a one internet, a single, stable and secure internet. So a challenge for us is firstly to identify which are these caucuses and to know how to link up with them, to engage them, and to collaborate with them. Because there are so many different groups, not only in a single country you might have one or two groups. In the region you have many. So how do we then corroborate and collaborate with all these groupings such that their voices gets fed into the policy making process? This is something which I am still thinking about, which we are thinking about. But for starters, we want to reach out to these groupings such that we can then have a dialogue to understand the needs and concerns. Then from there we work on collaborating with each other, and we can bring the voice into developing our internet for the future. So we have ICANN meetings that discusses various issues about the internet. A lot of these issues are related to, for example, the new generic top-level domain system. So basically this means that instead of only having a .com, .net, .org, or having a country-related domain names .sg, .ph, .id and so on, now we have opened up, because community has asked for it, to open up this restriction. And you can buy many other names. You can buy names behind. So .google, then imagine the kind of potential that you have suddenly. And we have people who applied for .asia. So you have a huge potential immediately when you have a domain name that you own entirely, and you no longer have issues like trademark. You know, if I want to buy www.Jia-Rong.com, somebody might have already bought it. And I'll be like, no, that's my trademark. How can that person take it? You have all these issues. But suddenly when you open up this top-level domain name system, the potential is much wider. But there are good things about it, but there are also complications about it. So this is an ongoing process in the debate. And Asia, frankly, not many people know about ICANN. And when you ask, how does the internet work? Then in Singapore, we'll just say, it works law. Yeah, Singaporean style, right? It just works. But the amount of effort that you put in to make sure that it works, and to make sure that it works in a way that people want it to.
It's free.
And it's free. And that is one single internet. There's a lot of effort that we need to go through. And the people who are involved in the process right now, frankly, in Asia, not many. And we want a stronger Asian voice that's part of this process. So that when there are updates, there are changes, or even issues that you encounter when you're using the internet, these inputs get fed into the process. And then we can adjust. We can upgrade, and we can make sure that everyone involved can have a better internet. What about like things like spam, spyware, and privacy? So these issues are challenges that's everyone's been talking about. A famous case about PRISM, about US wanting to survey surveillance on the internet about what other countries are doing. So these are issues. Another issue would be also related to how the infrastructure is currently being set. We know about the internet in terms of the over-the-top companies, so like Google, Facebook. So these are very content-based. But this underlying all this is the infrastructure, the connection. So do I make a connection broadband? Or is it LTE connection, 3G connection? And a lot of money is placed so that you have this connection. And there is I would say currently, it is a challenge because the OTT companies are making money in a different way from building infrastructure. But this infrastructure section cannot be neglected. And it's something that we need to talk about. There are governments who are very involved in the ICANN process, a multi-stakeholder process. The UN process is a purely government one. And like I was saying that, yes, it is very important for governments to be in charge of managing how the internet works. But because it is very complicated, one government will have our own interests, another government have different interests. So some governments are more conservative, we want less information coming in. Some governments, no, all information is free. Everyone has the right to speak. So we should let information be free. That is very hard to find a common denominator, already within the governments. We want to make it more complicated. Like I was saying during my speech, 99% of the whole ICT infrastructure is owned by the private industry. And if this is the case, governments will make some consultations within themselves, with their own businesses. But the scale of which the ICT industry is being run by the private players shows that there is a big role that the businesses, even civil society, users like us, have to play in order for the internet to be one that is up to date. So you are right that the governments feel that, yes, actually as a government I want to control everything, so I should take over control of this. But you look at how the internet is working right now. It is something which I wouldn't say that governments are incapable of doing, but it's something that we must partner each other. So all of us are involved in it. Technology moves very fast, and I was from the government. You want to sign a treaty, you want to sign a kind of agreement between two countries. It takes a few years to sign. You want to sign a multilateral agreement with 10 countries. It may take 10, 12 years. But technology is changing so fast. If we wait for the governments to take the time to negotiate, it will not keep up with the technology that's moving. I must congratulate Y4iT. When you have something that's running for more than a decade, you know it works. Yeah, and this is something that really works. I think that for starters, Y4iT is already involving a number of foreign speakers. Perhaps currently it is serving very strongly for the domestic market for Philippine students, but perhaps over the next 3 to 5 years you can look broader, because we are a globalized world today. You can think of partnering other institutions in the region, and I think Asia, we are very close-knit. We can support one another. So perhaps if I would suggest, and how I would envision it, is Y4iT becomes a forum where you have at least a regional participation over the next 5 years. I think that as we reach a scale, and already you are bringing in some international speakers, I think that there is a lot of potential. So the idea is how to reach out and how to engage these other institutions in the region to let them know, hey, we have this Y4iT conference every year, and it's huge. You don't really want to know how huge it is? Yeah, invite these people here and have a look at how the conference is being run. And when they see for themselves, then perhaps there they will have some synergies. They'll be, yeah, I can partner you in this. Coming to forums like Y4iT is fantastic, and I do encourage them. Even as students, they are coming for this, but even when they enter the workforce, don't forget to continue engaging with others. Not only people who you work with, but people in other industries as well. And from there, there's a lot of synergy in ideas. Sometimes you may discover something that is missing an IT tool, but when they realize that the need for it, our people who are studying IT, you have the skills to then create the IT tool to help to address the need. And I think that another area to look at is really how technology can help people who are less fortunate, who are less able to, in a conventional sense, help themselves, but through technology, you can always think of helping and creating a better world for other people. Please come to Y4iT 2014. I look forward to seeing you there.